Hey now, what up, Internet? How you doing today, Internet? Say hi, Brian.
Hello.
I've got your tag today listed as father of three, daddy of many.
I like that.
How do you feel about that, B. Matt?
I feel pretty good about it.
I guess technically you're a father of four if you include Biscuit.
Yeah, you got to include biscuit in there.
BP's already in the house. What up? Benny's in the house. How y'all doing? MD Harrell's here. He said he's about to catch a live Periscope that airs every morning, but wanted to start and say row the boat. I wonder what that Periscope's about, huh? I bet it's something really interesting and unique. Should I drink this morning, Brian?
You should, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. You are such an enabler.
I'm drinking tea.
I have a little morning shot here real quick, just like a half shot.
5 o'clock somewhere.
No, it is indeed. In like Tonga or Fiji or somewhere like that, it's probably 5 o'clock. Someone, a very sharp, eagle-eyed viewer, noticed that I was drinking out of the Destin Beerfest glass last time.
Wow.
And mentioned to me on Twitter that it is this weekend.
Oh.
It is a raucous time.
Is that where you plan to spend your off weekend?
No, I can't. I mean, I'm going to another college visit. But
Oh.
Colin says, wow, my first live rundown. Glad to have you, my man. And he is somebody that works for Peanuts. I know that for sure. David Porter says, well, good morning, guys. Thanks for live streaming. Of course. We're here for you. That's what we do. On the internets, BP says, enjoy the rundown. They're best live. Of course, it's the only way to do it. James Taylor Studio is also here in the house. Says, good morning, gentlemen. A lurker. We like lurkers, B-Matt.
Sure. We love lurkers.
You guys would be amazed statistically the percentage of our subscriber base that are lurkers. I mean, it's like upwards of 90%. Because if you think, like, how many people actually post on the bunker a lot? What do you think? 500?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe.
And we have...
Maybe not that many.
We have a lot of subscribers over that. Anyway, I do love Peanuts. So down the hatch, somebody thought this was Patron. I should probably perpetuate that myth, but it's just Elijah Craig. And I want to let everybody know I'm really not an alcoholic. I had it here, and Brian said he thought I should drink it, so I'm going to drink it.
Down the hatch.
Oh, man. I love that stuff. It's very smooth, B-Matt. You don't drink a lot of bourbon.
Nope.
I remember we were at a bowl game somewhere, and I got a little thing of bourbon. Again, I'm not an alcoholic, and I offered you some, and you're like, no, I'm good.
I think I had beer at that bowl game.
We had a good time. That was the late night one.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, I want to mention, the other day we were hanging out in the back room there, and I thought of our friend Lauren, who used to cover Auburn with us, and I sent Lauren like a really nice email because, we love Lauren. I mean, Lauren was like I almost felt like she was an auxiliary member of auburnsports.com because she was so cool to us and everything. And I was like, hey, we were just thinking of you the other day. Wish you were here. Hope you're having fun. I know you're getting close to your advanced degree she's working on, wherever, God knows where she is. And I got nothing back, B-Matt. It was just like, get out of my inbox, bro.
Wow. She has a new email address.
Nah, maybe. I doubt it. It kind of hurt a little bit. I think it hurt like a second daughter or a third daughter because Allie's like a daughter to me, too, in addition to my actual daughter. And then Lauren. But anyway.
The Braves were fine until Allie sort of started cheering for them.
Yeah, Spurs, too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. David Porter's out. Oh, I'm sorry. I already mentioned that. Benny Dupree says he's a first-time listener. Glad to have you. BP says he's sitting at a doctor's office and they still can't tell me why I can't swallow. I can't tell if that's a joke or not. I hope it's not.
Well, I had that problem, and I had, what's it called? I had the acid reflux.
And that's what was doing it?
Yeah.
And now you take like Prilosec or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once a day. Yeah.
Lester Stallone is in the house. Let's see. James Taylor says, was the beer Franz O'Connor? No, it was the Destin Beer Fest is a deal where you go and you pay like, I don't know, $25 maybe. And you get the glass and you go out on this big green. Well, actually, it's in the middle of Baytown Wharf now that I think about it. And then there's like 50 vendors maybe. And they all have, let's say, 5 beers on average. And so you just walk up and hand them this little thing. I don't even know how much this holds. 3 ounces maybe. and they just fill it up, and you can go all day if you can go all day, if you know what I mean. I went with someone who drinks a lot, and I don't. I'm pretty much a lightweight, and so I was really trying to drink halves when he was drinking fulls, and I still lost.
You still tapped out early?
Yeah. I mean, I made it, but I was drunk off my ass, and then I got made fun of by my friend's wife, who was like, "You're too drunk." I was like,
I wouldn't have made it more than a couple hours, and I've been out.
I know.
I'd have been like a shooting star. I've been wild and crazy, and then it would have been, he's out.
Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Speaking of rock and roll, I got to go see a rock and roll show the other night, B-Matt. Steel Panther at Soul Kitchen in Mobile, Alabama. It was awesome. They played all the hits, including Glory Hole, Asian Hooker, Eyes of a Panther, all the hits, man.
All the classics, yeah.
Oh, man, it was great. Me and about, I don't know, 200 or 300 of my best friends, and we were all hanging out. We took Maddie. First time Maddie's been to a true concert like that. She's gone to these silly ones like 5 Seconds of Summer or whatever. But so I got her to throw up the devil horns, and yeah.
How did she enjoy her experience?
I think as time went, like initially, I think she was a little rustled. But as time went on, she got used to it. I mean, it's a little disconcerting, I think, because they like talking about, girls and stuff like that. I don't know. But it's a safe environment. I mean, those guys there's no shenanigans going on. All right, so show today. First of all, we got Bomb coming up. So when we do the Voodoo show Tuesday at Voodoo, it's time to pay the piper. Now, I know that you've said that you will not be eating Bomb again, which you're going to stick to, right? But
yes,
you're going to have to do something else. I mean, I don't know what. You need to figure that out. I mean, if you want it to be mango habanero, which is a pretty damn hot sauce, but it's not quite Bomb, maybe that's okay. The bunker's probably going to still call you a bitch, but
I don't care.
You just don't care.
I do not care.
Yeah, Brian didn't handle it well last time, honestly. I mean, you were a champ about it, but I think it messed you up for...
No, it didn't, but I just don't see the point of it.
You don't see the point of it.
Yes.
Wait, having fun is the point of it? Like living life and being
that was
badass?
That was not a fun experience.
All right.
I can list a lot of fun experiences, and that would not be on the list.
It's not supposed to be fun. It's an Auburn loss. It's bad for us.
Well, I've experienced that one time in my life, and that was good enough.
Okay. So I'm going to hit Bomb. Jeffrey Lee's going to hit Bomb, and we're going to make young Nate hit it. Although I may bring...
so bad for Nate.
I'll
Nate,
go...
Mr. I like mild wing sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, we got him to go for the Voodoo, but now we're making him do the Bomb. That's bad.
We've already got a question, B-Matt.
Okay.
Do you guys think we actually have a new Gus who will let Joyner... Oh, God, this Joyner thing kills me. And DJ get involved with the same old Gus, which means 99% of the touches go to Cam and Malik Miller.
Well, I think that's the main thing we should talk about in this podcast, to be honest. So
we'll address that. We'll address that.
Okay.
We'll talk about Whitlow being out, what the next options are. We'll talk about the Florida game because we still got to go through that. I don't know if you're rustled or were rustled. You don't seem rustled now, but...
No, I'm not at all now. No.
And we'll talk about...
taking it like a man.
Can this team get right for Arkansas? The Gus Bowl's coming up. We'll talk about the Bomb on the show for those of you for listeners who are not on the live stream. And then I want to remind everybody, and I will do for the live streamers right now, that the Bunker Ham lunch is going to be on October 30th at Soho Social in Homewood, which is a place we've been. I think I've been there.
Love that place. That's where we went for our anniversary.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's delicious, and it is run and managed by friends of the Bunker. We'll call them.
That's right.
So we're going to go out there. I will be there for sure. B-Matt and Nate and Jay Lee are usually doing stuff. I mean, this time of year, you guys are doing something like 7 days a week.
I have no idea what's going on October 30th. Halloween?
That is a Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
Which usually there's stuff going on, but I feel like I got to go. But you guys write more than I do, so it's a little different. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Let's go ahead and get the show started, B-Matt. How do you feel about that? Oh, I do have some shout-outs, too. Here we go. Well, here's another question I just wanted to point out for you, B-Matt, before we start. From William T, we'll call him. Another question. It seems to be well documented at this point that the coaching staff has little confidence in Harold Joyner as a ball carrier. That being the case, why not convert him to a tight end H-back guy?
Okay.
I mean,
I don't think he wants to be a tight end H-back.
No, he doesn't. I don't.
Oh.
That's a nice way to put it, Brian.
Yeah, we'll get into this, but he is just a redshirt freshman. I mean, maybe this is it for him, but there's still a possibility that things can change over his Auburn career. It's not like this is the way it's always going to be.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that the coaching staff maybe doesn't have full confidence in Harold Joyner. I mean, is that fair to say, Brian?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I frankly don't understand why the bunker is so over the top believing that he's going to be awesome. He looks great. He's a great looking player, 6'4". Looks like Brandon Jacobs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Brandon Jacobs was a savage football player, and I don't know that Harold Joyner is a savage football player. In fact, I'm fairly sure he's not.
He did participate in the scrimmage on, I guess it was Sunday, right? And Coach Gus told us he did not put the ball on the ground, which was a good sign for him. So.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's like going out on a double date or a blind date with a girl, and you say, well, she didn't throw up all over herself, and she managed to put her underwear on under her shorts. Like, I mean, that, you know what I mean? Like, that's basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
I know for Booby it may not be basic, but for most people it is. David says, we heard all spring and fall how well Joyner was doing at running back. I don't remember that, but that may have been happening. I don't know. Back when I thought that I wanted to get into law, this has been a long time ago, obviously, there was this concept called puffery, which is when you make claims about something that are so over the top and silly that they can't even be proven or disproven. Like if I say, this is the greatest message board in the history of the internet, like I believe that to be true, and Brian does too, but that's not provable, right? Because how in the world would you even prove that? Like some dude in India or Bangladesh probably doesn't think that because he's never heard of it, and I feel sorry for him or her. But it's not provable. It's puffery. And I feel like the Joyner stuff's puffery. I think a lot of the stuff that goes on in the spring is puffery. And Brian writes it because the people say it, and it's worth writing about, but we come on the show here, and that's when Brian kind of tells you guys, hey, man, I'm not sure about Joyner. We try to put it in context on these shows. Right, B-Matt?
Right. That is correct. We do. we give you our opinion on what we think's really happening.
Yeah. All right, let's get this bad boy going, B-Matt. Isn't puffery a real estate term? I mean, it could be for sure if you say it has the greatest view in the history of the Ozarks. I heard about it in law, basically. It was actually journalism law.
It's the current state of politics in the United States of America right now, and Great Britain.
Hey, do you mean to put you on the Puffery board, bro?
Maybe I need to go. Maybe I need to get banned. Yeah.
John says, why do we not get the ball to Will Hastings more? Dude, they targeted him, I think, 5 times the other day. Like he was the number 2 guy in terms of targets. And Bo just couldn't get the ball to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It hurts having 51 plays. That sort of plays into the why didn't they do this, and this.
Yeah, they just didn't do much of anything, really.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Yeah. Hi-yo! Hello again, and welcome to the AuburnSports.com rundown presented by Voodoo Wing Company. This right here, this very show is your favorite podcast for all things Auburn, and maybe a few other baseball programs when they're in need of gentle disparagement, like those Atlanta Braves, Brian Matthews, Atlanta native, well, Doraville native. The Braves, man.
I used to go watch them at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, man. Have so many great memories of those great Braves and Falcons teams from back in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, they weren't even this good back then. But still, how in the world do you give up 10 runs before you even get a bat in the biggest game of the year? How does that happen?
Well.
It's like you finally get that date with the best looking girl in the school. You've been working this for years, right?
Yeah.
And then you pull up and you just run over her in the driveway. I mean, how does this happen?
That would be a disaster, I think.
That was a disaster last night.
It happens. The Dodgers are feeling the pain too.
Poor Mary Hart. I feel bad for her. Her and her sweater.
Mary Hart of
You know what I'm
Entertainment.
talking about?
No, of Entertainment Tonight.
Yes.
What about her?
Like every Dodgers game, you can see her right behind home plate.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always wearing her like special little sweater and like cheering like crazy. She's like the Dodger mega fan. So
Okay.
I want her to feel that success.
I had a crush on her like circa 88.
Huh?
Is she still hot?
For 68, yes, absolutely.
Word. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to Google that. I wish some of y'all in the chat could put that picture up here in the chat for me so I wouldn't have to go looking at it. Pistachio mentioned that we have a lot of girl dating analogies today, Brian.
We do. That's two. That's two. Me and Jay were such great,
Yes.
it's a great reputation.
Lotharios back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, for those of you listening to the podcast, we are broadcasting live on YouTube right now while we do the show. So that's why I'm making references to the chat. We fired it up about 10 minutes ago, and actually 15 minutes ago, and we've been chatting with the folks on the chat as well. And we'll probably try to take some questions from them later in the show. Let's get through some administrative stuff here. Today is October 10th in the year of 2019 still. This is going to be episode number 412 of this fine program. We are currently 9 days away from the Gus Bowl. Gus Bowl, Auburn at Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is very surprisingly close to Oklahoma. Seems like if you're going to put the University of Arkansas somewhere, it wouldn't be there. But
I would lay 30 points on this game, JG.
What, because it's the Gus Bowl?
Yeah, I would take Auburn and lay 30 on it.
I don't know, man.
And not be a bit nervous.
He doesn't want to embarrass his buddy, though, right?
Embarrass would be 40 or 50. I'll take the 30.
All right. Noted, Brian. My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of AuburnSports.com. I'm joined as always, and as you have heard, by Mr. Brian Matthews, capital B, capital M, our ace team reporter, and a man who everyone from Canyon Country, California, all the way to Duval County, Florida, knows. They do many things. Be mad. Word.
Well, I'm still getting over the poor Braves. They went out in a flaming pile of poop last night. That was disappointing. But JG, Liverpool, 8 wins out of 8. Top of the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Let's limit the soccer talk, particularly when my team sucks.
That was it. That was my soccer talk.
My team's terrible this year. Absolutely terrible. Like the worst. This bad.
This is the worst Man U team in a long time I would care.
Yeah. This is what happens. Like if this was Auburn football, this would be like hiring like Kenny Irons to be the head coach, and you'd be like, "Hey, he was a good running back, remember?" Well, I don't know him as a coach. Well, that doesn't matter. He was a great running back, guys.
I think I heard somewhere they spent $1 billion on players since Fergie retired.
I don't want to hear about that.
This is the product they put on the field.
All right, moving on. This show, the rundown is presented by Voodoo Wing Company, the spot for wings in Auburn. And it's a great place to go if you need a wing fix or a chicken fix or a delicious food fix. It's a place we go on Tuesdays when Auburn is playing. You can get the traditional wings, the boneless wings. They have a cadre. No, they have an array, I should say.
Ooh, I like that.
Of sauces. 13, in fact, many of them made from scratch. And they're flavors that you will find nowhere else, including the blackened Cajun Ranch that has changed my life. It is my favorite wing sauce. And when we go other places, I was in Mobile yesterday as part of a college tour. We went to a place that was not Voodoo because they don't have a Voodoo down there yet. And they didn't have the blackened Cajun Ranch, and I felt terrible. They are going to open a Voodoo near University of South Alabama on Old Shell Road at a point in the relatively near future. Anyway, Voodoo Wing Company is also a great place to go to get your brown food, which would include the aforementioned chicken wings. You can also get the Sidewinder fries, the fried pickles. You can get potato salad. They also have what we call the Voodoo Bites, but I think they're going to give it a different name. It's basically buffalo chicken salad in an egg roll. And I know that sounds, you're like, what, JG? Huh? I'm telling you, it's delicious. You can get this as an appetizer. I think it's $4 for 4 or maybe 3, but these are substantive things. Now, Jeffrey and I like to get a little sauce with that. We had it the other day. It comes with ranch. If you would rather have like a wing sauce, I think it's a very small charge. I personally would go for like a medium and dip it in there and go with that. That is something new, and you can also finish it off with the nanner pudding that BMAT likes so much, or the key lime that I enjoy so much. Check them out, voodoowingco.com on the internet. And if you want to go to the actual location, first of all, they're in Tuscaloosa, but I don't know why you would be up there. And they're also in Auburn on College Street, 3/10 of a mile north of the interstate, just north of where the Supper Club once stood, where Jeffrey Lee was once pitched into a trash can. Brian Matthews, let's talk about some football. Boobie Whitlow, the tailback, the linchpin of this offense, dare I say. Surprising developments the other day. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks after undergoing a procedure on his left knee, something we didn't even know was an issue. I don't think they knew it was an issue. Brian Matthews, let's talk about this. What up?
Yeah, I don't think they knew until he woke up the next morning and it was stiff and had to have it checked out. So that's not good, because if you look at Auburn's offense, they can replace just about everybody in the starting 11, but I'm not so sure how well they can replace Boobie Whitlow. He just he's by far Auburn's best back right now, and the options behind him, at least the ones we know about or have played a lot, are to me more situational guys and not necessarily every down backs.
Yeah, it's this. Now, to be fair, Gus, before the first game, said Auburn had 6 starters at tailback. So 1 down, they still have 5. Uh-oh, Brian. Why are you shaking your head?
I'm starting to get a little restless, but keep going.
So they have 6 starters, including Harold Joyner is a starter as well. DJ was a starter. Sean Shivers is a starter. Cam's a starter. Malik's a starter. And Boobie's a starter. So they still have 5. And I'm sure Malik can tote the rock 30 or 40 times and get 30 or 40,000 yards. I mean, is that fair?
Sure. Obviously, if he's a starter, it must be at Auburn, because Auburn is a prestigious school who has an incredible history of great running backs.
Yeah, RBU, man.
Yep.
They're the only team that can have 6 starters. That's how many they have. Boobie Whitlow, we have lampooned him a little bit here on the show because I like to call him Roomba. He tends to go in one direction until he hits something, then he changes direction. But the thing is, he's a very spirited player. He fights like hell all the time. And it's not like he just falls down the way some tailbacks have in the past. He's fighting for every inch. And I think in an offense like this, where the offensive line is mediocre and the quarterback is better than mediocre, but he certainly has his struggles, I thought he was a very important part of what they were doing, Brian. And now it's like, do they have a guy of the 5 remaining starters who can actually be somebody they can rely upon, Brian?
I don't think we can answer that for sure yet, but it's not one of the veteran guys. You know, maybe Cam Martin runs all over Arkansas and makes me eat crow. Okay, I hope he does. But if they're going to have to make a move to somebody who is a every down back, they're going to have to give DJ Williams a shot, because to me, he's the only guy that really fits that bill right now on the team, besides Boobie.
Yeah, he's the only one. He's the only one to me that gives you some, at least the ability to project him and think that guy could win us a game maybe, or that guy can help us win a game. And not to say that Cam Martin can't. He's been better than I thought he would be this year, honestly, because he's shown a little bit more acceleration than I've seen from him before. And I'm sure as I can be that he's going to start him against Arkansas, right?
Oh, God, that is such a given. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen. But DJ Williams is a guy we've been hearing about a long time now. We genuinely believe that the Cadillac thinks a whole lot of DJ. We're talking about a kid who went on official visits. Now, Auburn was in on him real early and got him away from App State, and everybody was making fun of him. But in the end, he visited Georgia. He visited Alabama. He visited somewhere else, and Auburn. And he picked Auburn because Auburn had been with him the whole time. Those schools wanted DJ Williams. And that says something right there, I think. And he's got some star ability. But can he do it right now? I don't know. Well, they got to try him, Brian. They got to try him. They have to try him. They have to give him 10 carries or more at Arkansas. They just have to do it.
Well, they have to, because he has to be the guy by the time you go to LSU if you're going to have a chance.
In the LSU
they need to know what they've got from DJ Williams at Arkansas before they go to LSU.
They got to know.
Yes.
So I think they will do this, but Cam Martin's got to get that start, right? I mean, that's Gus 101.
Yeah.
I'm going with the guys I trust. Speaking of that, did you know he played 18 guys in the last game? 18 guys on offense. It's the smallest total that he has ever used.
That's
as a head coach.
So that's not surprising considering the amount of plays they had and how poor they played. So, and how unimaginative their offense was.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to shout-outs, because 49 minutes to midnight knocked it out of the park on that one.
Let me just say one more thing about the running backs.
Well, I mean, hell yeah, we got time.
In 2017, Auburn may have lost the SEC championship game because it didn't have a clear backup to carry on Johnson. It did not have the running back depth that an upper tier SEC team should have had. Same thing last year. Didn't have a clear backup to Booby, and Booby was not, a ready-made SEC full-time starter. Right? He was just learning his trade.
No doubt.
We go in this year. Booby's improved. He's a pretty solid SEC starter now. They haven't shown to me they have a backup yet. They have to have one now. Will they have one? Is this going to be 3 straight years that a program like Auburn doesn't have the depth at running back to compete on a week-to-week basis? Again.
You seem rustled.
Well, I mean, how can you let this happen if it does? I mean, I'm not saying it is going to happen, but how in the world can you be the coach at Auburn and go 3 straight years and not have good quality Auburn running back depth? I mean, how is that possible?
He would tell you right now if he was on the show that he has been trying to distribute the rock because he has. Cam Martin's gotten carries. Malik's played a fair amount. DJ not so much, but I mean Joyner was playing a little bit. He was moonlighting with Shivers for a little while. I mean he is spreading it around more than normal.
He is trying, but that is a step forward. But what I'm talking about is recruiting and getting the talent here in Auburn and lining it up like other schools like Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and all these other big schools that Auburn's trying to compete with do every single year. I mean Georgia has a 5-star, one of the top running backs in the country. Missed the whole season with the ACL, and they don't blink. They don't blink an eye. They just roll in some other great players. That was last year.
Project Clash on the chat here on YouTube says, I also have never understood Gus's fascination with Cam. He's average at best. Nah, I'm not going to dispute that claim. I mean, we love Cam. We love him as a kid. He's a really, really cool kid, and he's trying. He's busting his ass every day. But I agree. He's just kind of, I think he's more of a pass catcher, and he's not even a super reliable one at that. It's not like he's a great blitz pickup guy, and he's not super elusive, and he's not super fast. Just not. I think DJ's the only one that gives you a shot at this point, and we've already gone through this. They need to play him at Arkansas and see what they've got, because you go into LSU, and you don't know what you're going to do at tailback, and it's going to be ugly, because you can't lay it all on Bo Nix. You can't do it.
No, you absolutely can't do that again.
I want to talk a little bit about Harold Joyner because he's a bunker hero, Brian Matthews. We've already had 2 or 3 questions in the chat about Harold Joyner. What's the deal? Why isn't he playing? Why don't they consider him? I don't really know how you want to address this, so I'll just say, Harold Joyner, your thoughts.
Well, like DJ, we don't know a whole lot about him as far as how well he could stack up in a conference game, right? We just don't know because we haven't seen him play. I think he has potential to help out as a every down type back. But I think unlike DJ, who has missed a lot of time with the injury, I think he just hasn't earned the trust of his coaches, Harold, yet. Now maybe he's working to do that. Maybe that's going to change in the coming weeks here. But to this point, I'm not sure he's done that yet. So I don't foresee him having a big part of the game plan unless, something else happens.
Phil in the chat says Asa Martin, SMH. Yeah. Asa Martin could be an interesting piece of the puzzle right now, huh?
He could be, but, he's not here for a reason, right?
Yep.
And still it goes back to recruiting people who are quality, have talent, and are willing to stick it out no matter what happens. And they blew it with Asa. I'm not debating that at all. The coaches did, but he's also on his 3rd school in a year, so that tells you something too.
Fair enough. I really thought Asa was going to be something.
Yep.
Harold Joyner, I just don't feel like the coaches have a lot of faith in him as a tailback. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it's dovetailing with what Brian said. I mean, people on the bunker ask about him all the time, and I think he's 6'4". He looks like Brandon Jacobs. I have fond memories of Brandon Jacobs too. Like he played in the NFL and was a badass, and he was a badass from the minute I met him. But I don't know as though Harold Joyner's a badass. I don't know. He could be in time, but he's not right now. And that's that. G Gamble says on the chat, Sean Shivers runs hard, but he's not patient. We agree completely. And not a lot of shake to him, not a lot of left right. It's just he's going down that alley right there, and those are your choices. I mean, incredibly
you need a lot
fast.
of shake with Auburn's O-line.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yes. It's being real. if they're going to run inside zone with this offensive line.
You got to go around the dude that's in the backfield first, and then you've got to slide left or right to find a little crease to get through. You know how it is.
Oh, goodness. Brian, you're just too harsh on them. Are you rustled?
A little bit.
Guess what happened to the Braves? They got knocked out of the playoffs again, Brian. Guess what the Falcons are doing this year, buddy?
They are terrible.
Guess what's up with Liverpool?
I don't know what's wrong with them. Oh. I mean, I don't watch them. I just see the scores, and I'm like, what the? You know what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's since you're in such a great mood, let's get you talking about the Florida game a little bit. Auburn lost that one 24-16. A weird game that had a lot of turnovers. And I mentioned this yesterday in a little piece in the bunker that I think I called the Realist's Guide to Boobie Whitlow's injury or something like that. I don't feel like I can draw a lot of meaning from that game, Brian. I mean, they didn't win the game, and I think a lot of people on the bunker are like, well, the team sucks, let's fire Gus. But I don't know if I can draw that conclusion from that game. I mean, they had shots.
They did, and I don't, there's no question to me, and I just keep going back to that play on 3rd and 12, at the 15, at the end there of the third quarter, and instead of just running a draw play or whatever, and maybe catching them off guard or setting up for the field goal and being only a point behind, you throw that pass and you throw an interception in the end zone. And that just killed Auburn right there. And I just cannot get over those three sets of plays down there. You run the ball so successfully, get an explosive play, and then you throw the ball 3 straight times inside the 15-yard line. And I can't tell you how many times Gus has said you have to run in the red zone to be successful. I just can't get over that series of play.
Well, that was before.
I know questioning play calling is silly because the plays that don't work are the bad calls, and plays that work are the good calls.
Right.
But still, I just can't get over that series.
He had the slant open. I mean,
it was open. It would have worked. Was the second down or the first down?
No, that was first down.
No, the first down was a 3-yard screen to Seth Williams. It was second down. 2nd and 7, missed Seth on the little slant.
All right.
Right? Yeah.
If you say so. I don't have it in front of me. Doesn't really matter because the throw was at his back foot. I mean, Elastigirl couldn't have caught that.
I don't know what happened on the interception.
I'll tell you exactly what happened on the interception. He locked in on Sal, and they had a robber, and he didn't see him, and the ball went right to him. Yeah. The end. I mean, it's just a freshman mistake.
Yeah.
And the bunker is.
You don't put him in that situation.
Well, yeah. I mean, Gus has come out and said that he thought that he made some mistakes.
Said that a bunch. He has said that probably 4 or 5 times after the game Sunday and on. Should we talk to him on Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it every single time.
I put too much on him. I got to help him more.
Yeah, and that is straight back to the running game and the way he's calling the game.
Grindhard in the chat says, bottom line, Nick should have been pulled. He looked like Jeremy Johnson. We aren't 5-1 because of Bo. We're 5-1 in spite of his play. The more when I was watching the game, I thought they've got to pull Bo. I just thought he was flatlined. But when I went back and watched the game, man, he was still in it. He just wasn't playing well. And I don't know with Joey Gatewood. It's like, well, this freshman's not getting it done. Let's put another freshman in there. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I have a feeling this is going to keep going on for the next 7 weeks or whatever it is. Joey Gatewood is not going to replace Bo as a starter unless Bo's injured. And Joey's probably going to transfer after the season. Okay, that's probably what's going to happen. You come on these things to hear the truth and what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Get over it.
That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense for everybody, Lou. Joe. I mean, yeah, would Auburn like Joey to stay? Of course. They love Joey. They love Joey, but they just don't feel like he has quite the same ceiling that Bo does.
Right.
And
they think Bo can be a really special quarterback. Right or wrong, that's the way they feel about it. So, and that's how they're going to roll. And their thinking on that game was Bo struggled against Oregon, and then at the end he went down. He drove Auburn down the field and won the game for him. Until that final run that Florida made in the fourth quarter to basically ice it, the feeling was Bo could do the same.
But he kept missing, man. He just kept missing. But I don't think it was because he was disengaged. I think he was just rattled. And I think Gus is right. You just got to let him get in there and figure this shit out. Like, it's just got to happen. You can't tell him, hey, you got to figure it out. You got to let him figure it out. And he didn't get it done, particularly that mess of a sack where he And you look back on it, and the pocket actually had decent pocket integrity. If he steps up, he's fine. And if he flees the pocket forward, he's fine. He's going to make yards. But he fleed it sideways, which is what he was doing against Oregon. And once you did that against Florida, it's over, buddy. That's a 20-yard loss. And I don't know if they were in field goal range. I think they were at the 38. So it was going to be.
They were close. The other thing, and I think you'll agree with me, is I feel really strongly that Bo is the type of player and person that is going to improve from an experience like Florida. It's not going to set him back. He's going to take a step forward after something like that. He's the type of player that really has his stuff together, especially for a true freshman. I mean, I just think he is going to take that, and that'll be a massive learning experience for him.
Yeah, I agree. I know there's folks in the bunker that are like, why is Gus so enamored with Bo? But I see Bo as a franchise quarterback myself. I know that he laid some eggs at University of Florida. I watched it happen, and I'm not arguing that. Nobody is. But I think you just have to invest time in him. Now, if you're mad about it and you say, why should we be relying on a true freshman at this point? That's a fair argument.
That's a fair argument.
That is a fair argument. It's because
that happens at a lot of big schools, the way it is now with quarterbacks, right?
Well, I mean, North Carolina and like 2 or 3 other places, that's it, that are relying on a true freshman quarterback at this point.
Well, I mean, last year and the year before, Georgia and Alabama have had to do the same. So, I mean, it happens at the best programs. Clemson, the same way. I mean, you get a quarterback who's good, he's the starter, the rest of the guys transfer, and you're sort of stuck. That's just the way it is nowadays. So you just gotta sort of live with that, and it puts you in a tough position, especially if that hot shot freshman is hurt or something. But and the other thing I would say about this is not like just Gus that thinks Bo is going to be a great quarterback, and everybody else is like, I don't know. I think everybody around that program believes in Bo, including his teammates.
He's a very worthy dude, and he didn't handle the Florida situation well. But you and I both know Bo's the kind of guy. I mean, the number one thing they love about him, first of all, is his resilience, his work ethic. But he doesn't make the same mistake very often. He's not the kind of guy to just get in these little ruts and make the same problem. I think he's going to learn from this, like you mentioned. So we're totally on board with that thinking. 2 of 14 on third down. Has something to do with Bo Nix, but I think it has more to do with some of the play calling was a little bit weird, and the offensive line just didn't really get it done, B-Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't understand why they're not a little bit better.
Yeah, we got a lot of experienced, aged linemen on that offensive line.
I just don't understand why a group of fifth-year seniors cannot get better movement up front. I know in some fourth quarters they've taken over games. I mean, taken over, but they have sort of taken over, right?
Yeah.
Mabupi have. But they haven't really dominated anybody good yet, have they? Not even close, really.
No. I mean, A&M's a decent team. Mississippi State is a almost decent team. They're decent. But no. And this run coming up, not necessarily the Arkansas game, but LSU, Alabama, Georgia.
I mean, Florida strangled them up front until finally late in the third quarter they started moving. They found a split zone play. You're probably going to break it down or something. I don't know, but they found a way to get some yards with Booby. But it took them almost 3 whole quarters to figure it out.
Yeah. I also have to mention a few things on the defensive side because it was not perfect. They had the big misfit. Well, no, just a missed tackle. That gives up the 88-yard rushing touchdown, which you mentioned earlier, is icing the game, which I completely agree with. Auburn's run defense was tremendous all day long, but, man, that was a huge failure.
That in the first play where they were doing a simple zone blitz and just got caught.
Yes, they did. They had on that one they had single high safety with man underneath, and I have this ready to go for a camera eye this afternoon. But Auburn, well, specifically Kevin Steele, likes using man under, and he got burned on that a few times the other day. The first one, as you mentioned, Kenny Britt got beat by Swain on a little dig route, and that was gone.
Well, I think Kenny was just supposed to have inside leverage. If he keeps that, he's fine, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say he's fine. I think it's a lot to ask for that linebacker if you're not going to collision him inside of 5 yards to just give him free release and off on his way. I mean, I don't even know what Kenny Britt's going to do to help there.
Right.
You're right that they have a safety who's ready to come up and support that and hold it to a 10 or 15-yard gain, which didn't happen because that safety tends to take bad routes. But
is that safety number 24 also?
It is. And he also misfit in a big way that run, the 88-yard run. He's the guy that's got to be able to use the sideline, leverage it, and get that run stopped for a 20-yard gain, and it goes for 88. And,
well, the front six is going to make mistakes.
Well, yeah.
You gotta make that play, and don't turn a mistake into a explosive 70, 80-yard play or whatever, touchdown.
I'm not hating on Kenny Britt, man. The number of missed tackles he's had in the hole in his career is probably under 5. The guy's the most reliable tackler alive.
He's been great. I've been really impressed with him and Auburn's linebackers as a unit.
But I'm going to mention this on a camera eye today. The second touchdown where they did the what they call a juke route off of Chandler Wooten. They did a little juke and then around for the touchdown, and nobody really even got close to that guy. I don't understand, and Kevin Steele does this a lot. Why would you go man under against an empty formation like that, empty backfield? You got 5 wides, and you're going to literally put 2 safeties high, worrying about vertical routes on the outside, and then you're going to put Chandler Wooten one-on-one with Freddie Swain. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And either you got to collision him, or I think Steele would prefer to have him funneled outside. But even then, if you guys want to go back and look at it, 24 he's got to cap 3 routes, 3 vertical routes.
Yeah.
A fade, a double move, that we call a cop route to the middle, and then you've got that bender going to the middle of the field. I don't. It's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask, and I don't know if Ronnie Lott could make that play. But maybe we won't see as much of that here in a little while. Surely LSU won't come up with some passing stuff to mess people up on a man under.
No, LSU just likes to hand it to the running back 40 times a game.
That's right. They don't even have a quarterback.
Much.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, B. Matt. Do you think this team's going to get right for the Gus Bowl in Fayetteville? Do you expect Auburn to come out there and play some good football?
I think Auburn is going to absolutely destroy and embarrass and just take Arkansas's whatever. Stomp on it. Yes.
I'm a little skeptical of that because Chad Morris is a good friend of Gus's, and I don't think Gus wants to embarrass anybody that he's friends with, all 3 of his friends. So I don't know.
Although I will say this about Arkansas, and I'm probably off the mark a little bit on my prediction. They have played better. They've improved as the season gone on. And I think it was Texas A&M that if they had caught some breaks in that game, they could have beat the Aggies. They really could have if you go back and watch that game. So maybe I'm being a little bit over the top of my prediction. We'll see.
Yeah, I thought 150 to -5 was a little bit too much, B-Man.
Probably so.
But we know how Gus's teams perform when Arkansas is on the line. Usually ends up being a butt kicking.
It's one of Auburn's most important rivalries.
Brian Harbaugh says the slant TD was a good call by Mullen. Absolutely, dude. He knew that Steele likes to go man under when he's going against trips. That more often than not, he's got a linebacker on a slot guy or Christian Tutt on a slot guy, and they busted Tutt as well. And you got to adjust to that, and they didn't, at least not quickly enough. But at the same time, 24 points, including that 88-yard bust. They were doing work.
Yep.
Florida was not pissing a drop on the ground, and aside from the slants, they weren't really doing much in the passing game either. But that dude had like almost 200 yards.
Yep.
All it takes is one now. Again, I can't draw a lot of conclusions from that game.
Well, you got to give Dan Mullen credit for finding something that worked early and having a great plan coming in, and then being able to use that to beat Auburn.
He's a pretty smart coach.
Yeah.
I do want to remind folks that we made a pledge as a staff that when Auburn lost its first football game, we would devour some Voodoo bomb, whether it be a traditional wing or a boneless wing. I will probably eat more than one, but some of the others will just eat one. And we are going to do that. We did not have a show on Tuesday for a couple reasons. First of all, it was an off week. Second of all, I am using the off week to go on college tours with my daughter. So I wasn't there to do the show. So direct any scorn toward me if you were upset about that. And so next Tuesday, we're going to be doing some bombing. BMAT may not participate in that.
Will not participate in that.
May not participate in that.
Will not.
Because I can't compel him to do that, although I think that he should. And there's 100 people on the chat that agree, but that's cool.
100 out of 100 people can't be wrong, JG.
I want you guys in the chat, hear that. Brian says you're wrong. All of you who are clamoring for him to eat the bomb. So we'll do that next week.
I've already eaten it. You can go back to whatever number podcast that was and download it and hear all about it.
Grindhard on the chat says, I still predict we're going to win a rematch with Florida in Atlanta. How about that? That's
interesting.
And also
that would be the perfect scenario for Auburn, right? To somehow get through LSU, Georgia, and Alabama and make it to the SEC championship game, and B, get a rematch with Florida.
It seems unlikely, but it could happen.
It could. It absolutely could happen, yes.
There's someone on the chat named Yvonne M, and she says, oh, you do? She says BMAT needs a pinch hitter. Is there someone in your family that would eat bomb that maybe since you can't get it done?
She is welcome to come down to Voodoo and have at it. She can have all the bomb she wants.
I'm not going to judge Yvonne, whoever she is, Yvonne M. I don't know if she likes to eat spicy stuff or not. Do you think she would?
She does, but she doesn't like spicy food as much as me and Cassidy, our youngest. She likes spicy food too.
Well, can somebody come up here and eat some bomb on behalf of the Matthews?
Possibly. Maybe we'll bring Biscuit.
Biscuit.
No, I don't think that would work well with him, though.
Yeah, I would not want to put my dog through that, honestly.
No.
I also want to mention, as a housekeeping measure, we are going to be doing what I call a bunker ham lunch on October 30th at the Soho Social in Homewood, a place that BMAT knows well because he went there on a date with his, we'll just call her Yvonne M. Last name redacted to protect her anonymity. And you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Awesome.
I've been to 2 bunker ham lunches there, and they were great. And some of the usual suspects will be there, including Bo is Great and Stretch Armstrong. I can't remember who else. I mean, Bubby's going to be there, of course. I think Fishman's coming. I bet Russ 47 will make it. I bet Tickle Done. He wants to be called Tickled One, but a Tickle Done. And some others. If you want to come hang out, it is a good time. I think we start around noonish. Could be earlier. I don't know. I'm not going to get there till noon. If you guys want to check that out. On to shout-outs. Brian is he's barren today, which happens sometimes. Yep. But I'm not. So let's go through a few of these. Auburn Rick starts a thread. Atlanta sports, we're done. Get out. Take your pennants from the 90s, your NFC championship shirts, and your stupid-ass Neon Hawks gear with you. We're done. Don't call me. Don't text me preseason projections or roster updates. Sounds like love on the rocks there. Lover of Pearl says, God has forsaken that shithole of a city. Auburn Rick comes back and says, he has, and he's left me here to die. I laughed out loud at that one. Cleveland Brown says, hey, JG, starts a thread. When you disparage the Braves in the next rundown, there's no need to be gentle, LOL. Popeye's sandwich enthusiast says, my coworker has told me everything that's happened in a game for 162 plus days, and his watch will end tomorrow, thinking of buying a little bottle of champagne. The very next post, WOSD at WDE says, Pena 87, looks like you're getting champagne tomorrow. Pena is a really, really, really serious Braves fan. Who came on the post game show the other day, and he called himself Pena, and so I wrote his name on the screen as Pina, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Pena. My bad. Who would say that word Penya is Pena? What the hell? Tiger Shark starts the thread, and this one made me think a little bit. Why not use AI to call plays? Seriously. Space Funk Booty says, I love Allen's game, but I think Bruce has this under control. Nice job to switch AI from artificial intelligence to Allen Iverson. Good stuff. I did love Iverson back in the day. But the bunker post of the week goes to 49 minutes to midnight, who does a series of computer code. A lot of you IT nerds will know what code it is, but I'm not even going to guess what it is because you'll correct me and say I'm an idiot. And I don't really know anyway. But it's one of those things where it's like, if, then, and things. And he says, while coach equals Gus, if down equals 1, play equals run middle. If down
He's
equal,
got it. He's cracked it.
He's already got it. If down equals 2, if yards to go is less than 7, play equals jet sweep. Else, play equals wide receiver screen. We got this down. If down equals 3 and yards to go is less than 4, question, do you want to win the game? Answer, yes. Play equals run Gatewood. Answer, no. Play equals run middle. Else, get ready to punt. So that's Gus OS 1v1 or 1.1.
I like it.
And 49 minutes to midnight. I thought that was elite bunkering right there. Extremely funny. So there you go. I think we'll wrap up the show there. Brian didn't get quite as rustled as I had hoped, even when I brought up the Atlanta failures. And then, of course, Bo Nix having some trouble and Booby being out.
We've always got Atlanta United, JG, defending champs of the MLS.
Mm-hmm. And even Liverpool sucks this year. Oh, wait, never mind.
Wait, nope, sorry.
No, that's Man United.
Yep.
All right. Let me real quick tell you guys that Voodoo Wing Company is a great place to eat. I've been there so many times I can't even remember how many. 50 maybe. If you haven't been there, please give them an opportunity to earn your business. It is a delicious place to eat, and you're going to like it. It's going to be super, super warm. I mean, I'm telling you the stuff. You crack open a wing, and it's just unbelievable stuff. Also, our friends at Lynch Toyota of Auburn. If you guys are in the market for a new or used Toyota vehicle, that is the spot to go. I myself drive a Toyota. B-Matt drives a Toyota. I wish Yvonne M. drove a Toyota, but she's not. We will get her in one of these days. Jeffrey Lee is now driving a Toyota. Yep. Young Nate is not driving a Toyota,
nope.
But he's going to. His day's coming. He's even got a band sticker on his little car, and we're going to get that worked out as well. I mean, I know he's proud of his band roots, but I've been picking on young Nate a little bit on the text machine, Brian.
Have you?
Yeah, I got a little inside joke I like to nag him about. It's kind of funny. Maybe I'll mention it on the show. Hair. He does have great hair. Of course, he's young. I mean, don't we all have great hair at a young age?
Most of us, yes.
Some of us still have great hair. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Also, a shout out to our awesome subscribers without whom we could not do what we do here. AuburnSports.com subscribers are the very best. They're quality people, quality individuals from all walks of life who are both clever and bright. If that sounds like you and you're not a member, you need to be a member. $8.25 a month approximately will get you access to the greatest message board in the history of the internet. That may or may not be Puffery. Also, the great stuff that Brian, Nate, and Jeffrey Lee put out there, that is not Puffery. I know that to be a fact. So join. It's time. Don't you want to watch this second half of the season? It's going to be great or it's going to be terrible. But either way, Brian Matthews is going to be there to cover it for you, as well as young Nate. Jeffrey Lee is going to let you know how things are going on the recruiting tip. And, this is the only way to watch it, I think, at auburnsports.com. So we'll wrap it up there. As usual, I like to tell you guys, since I know we're speaking to an Auburn crowd here. You guys are awesome. You're Auburn people, which in my opinion means you're a cut above. So go out there and be great. Don't let other people hold you down. God forbid you work with a UK fan or somebody like that, UK graduate, Transylvania University graduate, even worse. Just rise above and let them know that you're Auburn and you're better. But you don't necessarily have to say it to them. Till we see you again, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, yeah.
That's 40 minutes, B-Man. How about that?
Beautiful.
William Taylor shows up right as I was closing the show and says, howdy, boys. What's up, man? Yvonne M., last name redacted to protect her anonymity, says that she wouldn't be the one to take the bomb grenade. It would be Cassidy. Cassidy M., last name redacted. Do you think Cassidy could do it?
No. I mean, yes, she would do it. Absolutely do it. But no, I don't think she'd enjoy it.
I'll tell you who wouldn't do it. That would be Maddie Tate. 0% chance. She gets mild and bitches about that. So I don't feel like she's my daughter sometimes because I love the hot stuff. My wife loves the hot stuff, and she won't touch it.
Sometimes it takes some time to build up that love of hot food.
If you say so. Yeah. I mean, if you were cooking it, B-Man, I'd eat it.
All right. Come on over.
I've had your within the last 2 or 3 months, I've had your nanner pudding. It was not spicy, but it sure was delicious.
It was good. I'm not sure if spicy nanner pudding would work well.
Maybe down in the bayou.
Maybe.
But yeah, when you had that stuff over at Brandon's party, it was like you had not just made it. So it had cured kind of, you know what I mean? It gotten where the vanilla wafers or whatever you put in it was a little bit soft, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just
I know,
man.
It's good.
You just put that in your mouth and it just kind of
silky smooth.
Explodes in there. The flavor just explodes. It's so delicious. I saw Yvonne enjoying it too. I mean, basically anybody that had a bite was enjoying it. I think we ought to have more parties over at Brandon's house. Do you think he'll have us over?
I think maybe next summer we'll be invited back. We didn't destroy it or anything.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was just drinking. That's all I was doing. Wait a minute. I said at the top of the video show I'm not an alcoholic. But yet I bring up that I drink all the time. I don't know what the deal is. All right. Anything else, B-Matt?
That about does it.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. Let's see how long this video's been on the air. 57 minutes and 48 seconds. How about that, huh, B-Matt?
I should mention that baseball crushed Columbus State last night.
Boom!
9-3.
Get some.
And Farquhar with a 3-run home run.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to beat Columbus State.
Yep.
You think Butch is going to be here long term?
Yep. Yes.
Even though they keep failing him on the upgrades?
Yes. I think they're going to get it together. Yes.
I know that look, and that means you have questions.
He absolutely wants to be here. That's without question.
Somebody on the chat, this is Yvonne M. again, last name redacted to protect her anonymity, says, question is, will Amanda Marcello have you over? Hey, I was nice to Amanda. And I know Brian was always on his manners. So,
Yep.
We didn't have anybody. Oh, Nate was there. Maybe Nate. Did he impugn us?
I don't know.
That son of a bitch. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't do that. She'd probably have us, I imagine.
Jeffrey wasn't there, was he?
Hell no.
He didn't get thrown in the garbage can or anything, did he?
No. Brian says
All
the
right.
bourbon reveal is the best part of the brain drain. I know. I try to have a different one every single week. But again, you're trying to make me an alcoholic, Brian, and I don't appreciate that at all. What do you think I should drink next week, B-Matt? What's your favorite bourbon?
I mean, look, back in the day when I used to drink a lot of bourbon,
Here it comes.
it would be like Wild Turkey or name some basic bourbons from back in the 80s.
Old Granddad.
No.
Jack Daniels.
A lot of Jack Daniels.
Jim Beam.
Yep, a lot of Jim Beam.
Maker's Mark.
That was like the premium back then. Yep, that would be like the ultimate bourbon for me back in the day.
The red with the red wax.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the little purple, little bag it came in. Yep.
There's no bag that Maker's Mark comes in. You're thinking about Crown Royal, bro.
Crown Royal, you're right. I am thinking
That's
Crown.
Canadian swill, man.
Is it?
Yeah, hell yes it is. It's blended whiskey.
I don't know my bourbons.
Bourbon has the Maker's Mark has the red wax, and then back when we were in college, or when I was in college, 'cause I'm just a little bit younger than you, they had the gold Maker's Mark, which was like higher proof.
Yeah.
And that was the coveted bourbon back then. But I swear, man, when you and I were in college, there were only like 10 bourbons. Like, you know, you go in the ABC now, there's like 100.
Yeah.
And you go to the one in Louisville, and there's like 200. And it's like, it seemed like every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got their own bourbon now. BMAT, can we do this?
We can make our own AuburnSports.com bourbon.
Hell yeah, we can. Why not?
How long do we have to age it, though?
Like an hour.
Okay, good.
2 at the most. We can, all these people talking about how it's 10 years aged. We'll go the other direction. We'll say it's aged a day.
Yeah.
We didn't need 10 years or 2 years.
We like our bourbon with a little bite to it, don't we?
Hell yes, we do. Of course. We like the bomb spice in it.
Yeah.
Brian loves it. All right, we're going to go, guys. Hope you, seriously, it's 9:56 in the Central Time Zone. I hope you guys have a great day. Behave yourselves out there. Time for lunch.
Yeah, well, just take a couple hours for lunch, guys.
Dr. Matthews.
Your boss is not paying attention. Just go.
All right, guys. Appreciate you being part of the show. And I know a lot of you are subscribers. And so thank you for your support of what we do at the website as well. If you're not a subscriber, you know what to do. All right, guys. Peace and love. Be good out there. Sweet.
Bye.